It's that time of week again where we check out Cardano's ADA Coin. We're going to be performing some technical analysis and making some predictions on where we can expect to see ADA go in the near future. Let's get into it. How's it going, guys? Ryan here and welcome back to another crypto video. Today we are looking at Cardano's ADA Coin. We're going to be performing some technical analysis using some various indicators such as the RSI, such as the MACD, and such as horizontal and vertical trend lines in order to make some predictions on where we can expect to see ADA go in the near future. But before we get into that good stuff, guys, please remember to leave a thumbs up if you do enjoy today's video. And of course, if you want to see more of this sort of content, hit subscribe and turn on those bell notifications. We cover crypto, stocks, investing, and wealth management. Of course, I'd love to know your thoughts down in the comment section below on ADA, on Cardano, and the overall crypto space at the moment. But without any further ado, let's jump straight into today's analysis. Welcome into the ADA chart today, guys. If you're looking to buy ADA or want some free Bitcoin, there are a couple of links down in the description of today's video. But as you can see, over the past few weeks, ADA has obviously been dropping, as has the rest of the crypto market. And the last time we took a look at ADA was on the 20th of September, which we had this big red candle day here, unfortunately. But since that point, we have managed to, bounce back slightly and stay above, I suppose, that bottom point which we did hit. The following day we dipped a bit lower and we came even further down, and we got all the way down here to roughly $1.91. We're currently sitting at $2.11, back over that $2 mark, which is excellent obviously as well. But let's take a look at exactly what has occurred and what sort of, I suppose, trends we can put in place in order to determine where we're going in the near future. And something I really want to look at firstly is the overall trend. Now, we started down here where we were dipping down, and yes, whilst if you put trend down from, I suppose, the very, very bottom there, you can see that no, we have unfortunately broken that trend. But in saying that, you can modify it slightly to say potentially, and this is the thing with technical analysis, it all comes down to interpretation. If we started that from, let's say, roughly about here, you can see that, yes, we did obviously not start from the bottom, but there have been many, many more touch points on the way up, and even a bounce from that point there. So realistically, is this a better way to, I suppose, look at this trend? Well, in my opinion, yes, and it purely comes down to the amount of touch points that we're seeing here. So based on that, what we've seen is basically a bounce off that uptrend line, which is, sitting on that day at about $1.96. Then obviously it went up and we managed to get back up to this $2.46 mark, which, to put in perspective, is a big point of, I suppose, resistance for us after we managed to unfortunately drop below that point. So let's just chuck that one in right about here. That will do. And as you can see, we bounced off the top and we're trending back down to the bottom. So I think what we're going to see now is potentially another bounce off this overall trend line, or we're going to see a break and we dip downwards. So they're really the two outcomes. We're either going this way or we're going straight through and heading down for the next point of support. So if we do fall, where are we going to? Well, let's just take this and let's zoom out slightly. Where would be the most logical point for us to fall to? And actually it's where we saw probably the other day, and that is roughly at $1.90, $1.91. You can see there has been plenty of price action at this point in history, as well as, I suppose, a few months ago and recently as well, where we did touch this point. In my opinion, this makes this a $1.91 point a key area of support for us. So if we do break this uptrend, we could bounce off that. That's the next area of support. Now, obviously, if we do bounce off this uptrend, where are we going? Well, it's quite clear. We're going straight up and hitting this point here, roughly, which is that $2.46 mark. That is the goal. What you can see though is things are going to start to get tighter. So yes, whilst we have plenty of room going here, it's getting smaller and smaller and smaller. It's coiling. And it's coiling in a manner that is overall actually relatively bullish. And that's due to the fact that we're getting high lows and I suppose high highs as well, but obviously hitting this point of resistance up here. But high lows is indicating that we're coiling upwards, the buyers are winning, and eventually we will break upwards in that sort of a direction. Whether that comes or not, that is to be seen, but overall that is what we can effectively be looking for at the moment. So let's bring in a few more indicators in order to help us with this. Obviously I like to bring in my moving averages first and foremost. So we're going to bring in our short-term moving average of 20-day. We're going to bring in a medium-term moving average, 50-day, and of course finally we'll bring in that 200-day long-term moving average. Now you can see at the moment this long-term moving average not really in play at the moment, sitting at about $1.64. So that's fine. That's a major point of support. It's coming up. And if this support point failed, that's probably where we're dipping to realistically. What we're looking at the moment is, I suppose, our 20-day and our 50-day, and something bad has occurred. We've seen our 20-day moving average, unfortunately, dip below that 50-day moving average. That's a death cross, and it indicates in the short term, we've seen a reversal in the overall trend. That's quite clear from obviously what's been going on over the past few weeks, but this has, I suppose, crystallized it from a moving average perspective. Now, what this means as well is these now act both as 2 points of resistance we need to get past. So we need to get past the 20-day, get past the 50-day, and then eventually we can test that resistance point at $2.45, $2.46 in order to potentially break out. Now, ideally, what we want to see is obviously this 20-day be broken by the price action, and then obviously it needs to be maintained as well after the fact. So my target for today's video, based on that, is $2.32. We would need to see it tested and we need to see it broken through. This moving average is critical for us at this point in time. Now, what we're seeing today on the candle is a doji by the looks, indicating yes, there's a bit of indecision in the buyers and sellers, and we're likely going to see a reversal in the trend of the price very, very shortly. So hopefully we see that reverse up and go and test that point at $2.32. So let's bring in a few more indicators now as well, the MACD, just to work out our overall movements. Now, yes, it's been red, it's been red, it's been red. What we want to see now is for this short-term EMA to cross above the longer-term EMA, 12-day and 26-day. They're getting close now. And if we see the momentum shift due to this candle and we start moving upwards, we may see a cross of the 12-day EMA over the 26-day EMA. That will then be a catalyst for us to potentially break out and see the buyers coming back in. You can see we had a period of long-term buying obviously in the run. Then as we've dipped, we have seen a period of long-term selling. It's about time, you know, as we saw up here, that things start to reverse, but we're having it in a better position. And obviously we've made ground. We started down here at about $1 previously, and we got all the way up to up here at about $3.10. And we've only dipped down now to a low of $1.91. So overall looking pretty good, but the MACD to me is indicating we may see a cross soon, and we may see a shift in the direction of the price action. But this needs to cross over, and it needs to be confirmed in a very convincing manner. So let's look at the RSI. Is this going to be possible? Wrong screen, sorry. Yes, it is, based on what I remember, because yes, we're not overbought, we're not oversold, we're just right. But we are on the bottom end with an RSI of 41.53. So overall, looking pretty good. Plenty of room for us to break out and start moving upwards, but also still plenty of room for us to move down as well. So the RSI is not super helpful here, but I suppose it's leaning towards more buying as opposed to selling potential in the near future. So overall, taking those things into account, my price target still remains the same. We're aiming to crack this 20-day moving average. Now obviously what occurred from last video, this death cross, unfortunately that's not what we wanted, but that's what we've received. And I said it could happen. Unfortunately it did transpire, but of course I like to be transparent with you guys. So yes, it's happened, but if we do see a shift in the overall momentum of the price action, we swoop up and we start coming in this sort of a manner, bouncing or even turning prior to that key point of support, we may see a shift and a breakout. Yet obviously as well, the overall crypto market's still not performing incredibly well. This is going to have an impact on sentiment overall. Any sort of shift in momentum we can get from a buying perspective is going to help us now, particularly as we start to climb back up towards our points of resistance. That wraps up our Cardano ADA analysis for today, guys. I'd love to know your thoughts on it down in the comment section below. Do you think we can hit those targets? Do you think we can pass those targets? Let me know. And of course, if you did enjoy today's video, remember to leave a thumbs up. And if you want to see more of this sort of content, hit subscribe and turn on those bell notifications. We cover crypto, stocks, investing, and wealth management. But I'm going to leave it there for today, guys. I hope you have an awesome day. I'll see you next time. Cheers.